When we talk about enterprise data, it is not just about making a copy of a file. With all the ransomware risks and complex cloud setups we have today, a simple backup isn't enough. You need a setup that is actually resilient. In this masterclass, we are going to look at how to build that properly. Hello, my name is Vijay. I have been working as a solution architect and Microsoft certified trainer for more than 10 years now. Most of my work involves designing large scale cloud architectures, Kubernetes clusters, and DevOps pipelines for global clients. As an architect, I always look for tools that are reliable and scalable. That is why I want to show you how I use Syncovery at an architect level. This masterclass is structured into four practical sections. First, installation and background services. We will start by setting up the tool to run as a persistent service. This ensures your sync jobs runs automatically in the background without needing a user to stay logged in. Second, advanced filters and rule logic. We will configure filters to include or exclude specific files. This ensures you are only moving high value data and not wasting storage on noise. Next, connecting to public cloud storage. We will walk through the security and connectivity steps needed to link your local folders directly to external cloud storage buckets. And finally, exporting and migrating configurations. I'll show you how to export your settings so you can move your entire setup to a different server instantly without reconfiguring everything from scratch. Alright, with this introduction, I'm sure you are super excited to dive in. Well, I would say if you are ready to move from manual backups to a professional architected solution, let's get started. The name of tool itself might be giving you some idea that it is a tool related to syncing of files, folders, etc. Right? And you are absolutely right. Syncovery is a file synchronization and a backup software. In absolutely simple terms, you have a folder and there are some more subfolders and files inside it. You want to sync those files into some other location. It could be a cloud drive, it could be, another hard disk, or maybe another disk drive itself, right? So that is one use case of this software. And another use case of this software is its ability to help you in managing your backups in a standard and professional way, right? So let me tell you from my personal experience, it is a very easy tool, right? And maybe you do not have any immediate requirement to use it, but I would say you better know about it. File synchronization, backup, these are so relatable terms, and I doubt there is any IT project in this world which doesn't have these requirements of syncing files from one location to another, and backup, of course. Pretty much all IT projects have them. And even if you don't need this tool right now, please learn about it, and then in future if there is some requirement you can make use of this tool. All right, quickly summarizing the different advantages of Syncovery tool. So first of all, it is a fully managed solution for scheduling the different file copy, backup, and purge operations. You don't have to use any other scheduling tool because scheduling is built in Syncovery. You get detailed log for your backup and file synchronization operations. So if you run into some issues, you can make use of these logs and rectify the issue easily. And Syncovery has notification capabilities as well. So in case some of your file sync or backup job is failed, you will be receiving an automatically triggered email if you have configured this feature, right? Then this tool can be used for synchronizing files. So whatever files and folders are there in one location, if you want to make exact copy of that in some other location,
This tool can be helpful, and Syncovery supports one-way as well as two-way synchronization. Next, Syncovery can be used for backup, and good part is if you want to keep your backup locally, you are good to do so. And if you want to keep it on some cloud storage, you are most welcome to do so. And Syncovery supports almost all popular cloud service providers for this. Next, Syncovery can be used as a centralized. So, by mean of Syncovery profiles, you can define what are those files which are safe to be deleted after a certain age. So, Syncovery can take care of your purging operations. So, how Syncovery can help us in this is you can pull the files from customers SFTP location and bring into your in-house, as well as the result files what your application is creating, you can send them by push mechanism to your customers SFTP location. So these are few major advantages of Syncovery tool. Yes, in coming couple of lectures, what we are going to learn is what is Syncovery. High level you have already understood, but what exactly it does and how you can achieve the same is something we are yet to discover. Next is its official website tour. So we will see from where you can download the software, how you can upgrade the tool, and how you can look for support when in trouble. Next is software installation. So we will cover it for Windows, but if you are using Linux or Mac operating system, I'm sure you will be able to do this step following the documentation provided on the official website. Next is we will create a simple Syncovery profile and try to mimic the scenario of syncing the files from one location to another location. This profile we will create in order to explore the different features available related to Syncovery profile. Next is creating a Syncovery profile for moving the local file to some cloud storage. I am going to use Azure Blob Storage for the demonstration, but you will have an option to use AWS, Google Drive, or whichever cloud storage you are comfortable with. Important thing here is that you know how to configure this tool in order to be able to upload local files to a cloud directory and also download the files from a cloud drive to your local computer. So we will try to cover this in detail, and lastly we will try to take a look and see what different customizations you can do apart from bunch of settings already provided in tool. All right, let's get started then. Okay, so this is the official website syncovery.com. We can download the tool for Windows and see how to install it, right? And I'll select 64-bit. It's getting downloaded now. All right, the tool is downloaded. Here is the executable. I've copied it on the desktop itself. And now we are proceeding with its installation. Next. Okay, so here if you just want to review the tool, you can go for standard installation. I'll go for full installation because I have to show you what and all is available, right? I would recommend to check this option to install Guardian service, and I do have a story to share as well, right? So what happened? We were using Syncovery tool as a file sync and backup tool for one of our top client. If you don't know, this entire tool Syncovery runs as a service which continuously monitors which files has to be copied and what happened to the file, and trigger the files copy as per their schedule, right? But what happens if the entire Syncovery service itself goes down? So it actually happened for us. So because the entire service was down, we were not even getting notifications about the delays in file transfer, and no notification that something is seriously screwed up. So that time we contacted Syncovery and they told us about this feature. So what this Guardian service does is it will continuously monitor your Syncovery service, and if that goes down, its job is immediately to start the Syncovery service. So this way it is truly a guardian for Syncovery. Learning from the past, I highly recommend you to install this service if you are using Syncovery in your production environment. Yes, so this pretty much makes it a full installation. And then let's click next. All right, create a quick launch icon. This is okay. Next, install. It's pretty quick installation. There's nothing much. I want to launch Syncovery, so click finish, and there we go. Alright, seeing this welcome screen is a confirmation that this tool is installed successfully.
It's time for an important message. If this deep dive is helping you, kindly hit that subscribe button and support the channel. Also, if you have any queries, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you. Yeah, thank you. An engine is only as smart as its programming. Now that we have Syncovery deployed as a core service, we need to define the intelligence layer. This is where we configure profiles, the rule sets that govern exactly how, when, and where your data moves. Pay close attention to the versioning and conflict resolution settings. This is where an architect ensures data integrity.
All of these options are available in the advanced mode also. So we will directly go ahead and explore advanced mode. When we are done with this, automatically these different options will make sense to you, right? So let's go there, switch to advanced mode, and here we see all different buttons to create profile, run several profiles at once, pause them and all that. But before we go into running the profile, what exactly is a profile? That itself we don't know yet, right? So let me tell you, when you see these many options, don't get overwhelmed. Simple concept is you have some sort of folders, files inside it, and all of that, right? Now when you take backup, what you do, you copy it and then paste it in some safe location. It could be a cloud drive, it could be a hard disk, or maybe you just want to create another copy within the same system, right? All of these scenarios are possible depending upon your requirement. Now, Syncovery gives you all different options around this copy and paste. It could be sometimes cut and paste, sometimes you want to zip before copying the files, right? Sometimes you want to do block copy. So these multiple options, if you want to write your own scripts, then you will have to consider. Whereas this tool is automatically giving those options. That is all it is. It's very simple concept, yet it is important to know because it is efficient and provides you all different features. When when the file copy got failed, what action you want to take, all of those features are included. And as well as it is a standard way of managing backups and file synchronization, right?
And allow me to add here, if this architectural approach to syncing is helping you, please subscribe and show your support. I'll be posting more deep dives into Azure, Kubernetes, and generative AI very soon. And now,
Let's get started with creating a profile. Click here. So in order to create a new Syncovery profile, you can click this plus button and this menu will open, in which we need to configure our Syncovery profile. So in case you are wondering what exactly is a Syncovery profile, Well, it is just a job in which you define your source, your target, and all different settings that are around this. And these options we are going to explore in detail. So don't worry about that. So you need to give a name. I'll say local backup. That's it. And then we have to define left hand side. So in this lecture, to keep the thing simple, I am going for local folder only, though we have an option of internet and device as well, which we can explore later. So click browse, and my source is this source folder. I'll just select it. Let me show you in the starting itself. Destination is an empty folder, and the source has two folders as well as files, and these subfolders are containing files as well. So just showing you it in the starting itself, so that you later don't question me that I already kept files in backup. Just playing safe. So now I need to define right hand side. So I'll pick this way. It is backup destination and select folder, right? So I have defined the source and backup both. Then this arrow sign is saying that whenever I will run this profile, file copy will happen from this direction or this directory to this directory. I can anytime change it as well, but that's not something I want to do at this moment of time. Secondly, you can copy from left to right, as well as you can pick right to left as well, or both. So this way, if if we check both of these options, it will basically copy from both directions, which we are not looking for at this point of time. So I'll just uncheck this, and now I'm leaving it at this point, source to target. Okay, this is there. Then okay, there's multiple folders within source. There could be a case where you want to exclude the folders, or maybe you want to allow certain folders for copying and don't want to include all of the folders. That setting you can do from here. None means none of the folder will get copied, but only the files will go through. All means all folders will go, and selected will basically give you a choice to pick which folders you want. So simple it is. I'll go for all. Don't want to make it unnecessarily complicated. Then standard copying, and what it is you can read it here. Smart tracking enables you, mostly used for two-way synchronization. It can detect deleted and conflicting files and must be configured to your requirement. Then we have exact mirror, and this fourth option is basically to move the files. So whatever files are there in source, it will first copy them to target and delete it from the source directory. So we are fine with the standard copying at this moment of time. Now one option I want to show you here, mask and filter. So there are different files over here. Let me create one more file, let's say text, and I'll say sample exclude dot exclude. So this file I have simply created to showcase that it is possible to exclude a certain set of files. It's not mandatory that tool will copy all of the files. If it is your business requirement to exclude a set of files, it is very much possible. So inclusion mask, what and all files I want to include, I will go for all. Exclusion mask I'll put as star.exclude. Basically this means I don't care about the file name, but if it is ending with .exclude, then consider it to be excluded. This is the meaning. Then general filter, okay, there are certain ways here, and this file age and size is newly added in the tool. Basically, if you want to consider only those files which are older than 14 days or maybe specified number of days, then you can select this, and it will copy only those many files which are satisfying this criteria, right? If you think logically, you can make use of this setting and use Syncovery as a purge tool as well. For now, we are not interested in this stuff, so I'm just fine with adding exclusion mask, and I'll say OK. And you can see it has created a profile for us. Now it is our job to execute it. So I'll right click on this Syncovery profile and we see all different options. There are multiple ways of running it. It could be attended, unattended mode, background. At this moment, I'm interested in showing you the different ways. So I'll select attended mode and you can see it has prepared the list of all different files and folders available in the source directory. So we can play around with these settings from here, and once we are satisfied, we can give it a start. Alright, so it is saying 24 files were copied and 2 folders are created. I'll say OK and I'm fine with this. So here also it will show the last result whenever it was executed. What it did, it will show it here. Also, you can right click on any of the Syncovery profile and ask it to show the log files. So last log file is this. Click on this and here is the detailed log file which automatically got created for you. You never asked for the log file. So if you were to write a script for automation of this copy, then it is expected from you to take care of this log file as well. But here you never have to bother about it, and all different file copy related information is available to you without you having to configure or worry about it at all. So this is the beauty of this tool. Let me close it. You can run several profiles yourself and take a look at this log file. Okay. Now let me go to the destination directory and see if it has really copied the files. Yes, it did. It successfully created the folders, copied the files inside it, as well as these files are here. But I'm particularly happy about one file which didn't get copied, and that is this file which didn't get copied because we added this file as an exclusion mask. So this file rightly got excluded. How cool is this? So with this, we have successfully created one Syncovery profile and were able to create a backup of this source directory. Now, who will execute it on daily basis? Who is going to come, run and go? This wouldn't work. If somebody has to manually log in into your server and execute this Syncovery profile, I won't even call it an automation. It is a pseudo automation. So what is the way to automate this? Well, it's a damn straightforward thing. You just go here. In advanced settings, you can see this schedule. So you have to check this option, schedule this profile, and when is that you want to execute this. There are certain options which you can pick, and you can even fine tune it up to this way that I want to execute on daily basis except on Saturday and Sunday, and I only want to execute it between 1 to 6 o'clock because at 6 o'clock my business hours start. After 6 o'clock, my business users will start using the application, so I do not want to continue with this copy. And if this window of 6 hours you want to exclude on Saturday and Sunday, you can check this option so that on Monday to Fridays it will execute only between these hours, but on Saturday and Sunday it will let the Syncovery profiles execute without pausing them at 6 o'clock. So these many options are there which I would request you to explore at your own. They are pretty self-explanatory and I'm sure already making sense for you, right? I'll hit OK. Should the background scheduler run automatically? Yes. And that's it. Now if we go to scheduler, we can see this new schedule has been created, and automatically as per the schedule we have defined, it will automatically get triggered. Now this schedule is created, but scheduler is not running at the moment. So for this, let me start the scheduler, and there we go. Our scheduler is running and it will automatically take care of triggering our profile as per defined criteria. So next run is scheduled at 21st of August. What else I can ask for? Automatically at this time this Syncovery profile will get triggered, and I have defined that its job is to copy all different files and folders from this directory, excluding this file, to this particular location. Beautiful it is, isn't it?
Alright. Local redundancy is a start, but in a true disaster recovery plan, on premise storage is a single point of failure. To achieve architectural redundancy, we must bridge our local infrastructure to the cloud. In the next module, we are going to configure the secure handshake between our local engine and Azure Blob Storage to ensure your data exists offsite and out of harm's way.
We created the Syncovery profile and were successfully able to copy the files from source directory to the backup directory. Now, this backup directory, which is in my local system itself, I don't call it very safe. You know, again, if something goes wrong and my hard disk is crashed, then both source and backup are in the same hard disk and I lost both. Certainly, it is not a great backup strategy to keep both the source files and the backup files in the same system. What is the option then? So if you want to keep it in a hard disk, then it is the same way, right? Whatever we selected here, this is the right hand side we selected, right? We could have selected the backup directory as hard disk over here. Now let me tell you, instead of giving this local path, if you want to give a network path, this is very well accepted. Syncovery will not have any problem with this. So this could be a better strategy than the previous one, where instead of keeping localhost, of course, you would want to keep some other system where you want to keep your files and safeguard there. So that is one strategy. What is even better? Well, these days world is fascinated about one technology which is called cloud. Keeping your all important files in a cloud drive could be a very good backup strategy, I would say. So even if something goes wrong with your entire data center, still you can recover your files if they are safe in a cloud drive. Correct? So this is Azure portal provided by Microsoft. If you are into cloud, then you would know Microsoft Azure is a popular cloud service provider. I do have classes to teach Microsoft Azure as well, which you can check out later. At this moment, all I want is Syncovery to move my local files into a cloud drive. And for this, I have created this storage account, and inside this I have to create a blob storage. So I'll go to container and say very important files. I've given this name. I can keep it private, public, that is completely my choice. I'll hit this create button and it has successfully created this folder over here, which is called container in cloud terminology, or I should say Azure cloud terminology. This folder is here. My files are over here. Syncovery has to play the role of connecting these two worlds. Let's see how we can create another Syncovery profile to copy these source files to this backup directory, right? Which is in cloud. If the new Syncovery profile, what we are planning to create, is very similar to some of the existing Syncovery profile, then we have an option to duplicate it. So you can go here and click this duplicate button, accept this, and you can see the profile is there. It is automatically created and it is exact copy of this local backup. Only difference is it is disabled right now. So using duplication, if we create a new profile, by default it will remain in disabled state, which we have to manually enable. So to enable, we can click this, and now this profile is also in enabled state. So the profiles that you don't want to actively use, you can keep them in disabled state. This is another point to note. For now, our local backup and cloud backup Syncovery profile doesn't seems to be very similar. So I'll just delete this and proceed with creating a new Syncovery profile. Let's see how to do this. I'll give name cloud backup, fancy name, and then okay, source, here's the folder. Okay, so right hand side I have to select my cloud drive. For this I'll have to go for internet option, and then how many protocols you can ask for. Syncovery has support for FTP, SSH, Amazon, Glacier, Google Drive. Pretty much all popular protocols are listed over here. Out of this, we are interested in Azure for this demonstration. So let me select this, and immediately the next options are changed as per my selection. So I have to give account ID. Let's see what is the account ID. So for account ID, we have to go to access keys, and this storage account name is nothing but the account ID, which I can give over here. And then we have to give the access key. Let me copy this access key and paste it over here. Now I have to select the container. So it is reading the folders. See, I never entered this name, right? Very important files. Means Syncovery was successfully able to connect with my cloud storage account and read the list of different containers available inside it. I have only one container, so only one is shown over here. If I had multiple containers over here, it would have listed them all. So yes, I'm interested in this. Hit OK, and then yes, I want to save the account ID and save access key. Who will enter it every time? So I'll hit OK. Mask and filter we have already explored, so I'll not get into it. Schedule also we have explored. So these are more settings which you can explore yourself. Depending upon your business requirement, you might want to fine tune these settings. This is important. So in job, you have this option of execute command or script before after. So let me select this. Now you have seen there are hundreds of options already there in Syncovery, but it is always possible that they have missed few of the options. Let's say you want an email to be triggered as and when a file is there to get copied. So before the copy starts, you can execute some script. This option maybe Syncovery has not given by default, but you can always write your quick script and ask Syncovery to execute before running the Syncovery profile. And once the Syncovery profile does its job, then you can specify another script to get triggered, and then it could be a confirmation that everything was fine, or maybe an email to your client that so yes, the files which you kept in your SFTP path, we were successfully able to pull them into our side, something of that sort. Again, Syncovery is a professional tool for supporting the business, so there could be some requirement from customer which are very different and are not covered in the tool. So this is the place where you can write your own script and ask Syncovery to execute. Let me cancel this, no such requirement for me. And you can see there are more options to override the other settings and all that. I'm sure the name of these settings itself is giving you some idea, and you can explore more details either using hit and trial methodology or maybe you can go through the documents as well. Mask and filter is covered in safety, okay, attended mode. So what and all warnings, errors and all that you want, you can check from here. Okay, special has cache destination file, block level copying, security and share, etc. Okay, so here this setting you can utilize for management of database backup, versioning, how many files version you want to retain. So using this setting, you can preserve the older versions of the files that are getting deleted or overwritten. This way, from compress and encrypt, using this setting, we can ask Syncovery to zip the file or encrypt the file before copying to the target location. Yes. So yes, let me select this option for now. And what we have in information, okay, so if you want to see the profile details or log files, we can see it here also. All right, we are done with pretty much all settings at the high level. More details I'm sure you'll be able to figure out yourself. I'll hit OK. And purposefully I have not scheduled the profile this time, so you will not see it here because I want to execute it manually. So left hand side is this and right hand side is Azure very important files. Yes, that is the destination I have specified. So if I go inside, you can see there is no file available inside it right now. Now I want to execute this Syncovery profile and see if the file movement is happening correctly or no. This time I do not want to run it in attended mode. I want to run it as if nobody is watching, and Syncovery profile has to run in truly unattended mode. So let me select this, and it is doing its job without prompting for confirmation. All right, so it has taken its action. 25 files copied because there was no exclusion mask specified. And if I go to the cloud and refresh, so yes, cloud drive is updated with all of the files. How cool is this? Few clicks here and there and we are successfully able to create a job to copy these local files and keep it at the target location. Of course we can schedule it in way that okay, my team works between these and these hours, so at this point of time I want to copy all different files to the target location. And one option which you might have missed, so because we asked our Syncovery profile to zip the file before uploading it, so in this cloud directory also you can see the files are zipped accordingly.
It's time for an important message. If this deep dive is helping you, kindly hit that subscribe button and support the channel. Also, if you have any queries, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you. Yeah, thank you. A system you don't monitor is a system that will eventually fail you. An architect is blind without telemetry. In this final section, we are focusing on the operations side of the house, setting up SMTP health alerts so that system tells you when it is hurting, and exporting your configurations so your entire architecture is portable and ready for a total server migration.
So now go to program setting dialog and you can see over here there is one INI file which stores all different profiles. So right now you are only seeing two Syncovery profiles over here. But when you are using this tool for supporting your customer, there are chances that there will be 300, 400 Syncovery profiles and you do not want to lose them because it is lot of important information. Good thing is all of the Syncovery profile information is stored in this particular file. See program data Syncovery syncovery.ini. So all of the configuration information is kept safely inside this file, right? And you have an option to export it as well. So if I select this and say on desktop, config backup. Irony is this tool itself is a backup tool and we are taking a backup of this backup tool configuration. So save it, go to the desktop, and there we go. So all of your Syncovery profiles information is kept safe inside this file. At any point of time, either when you have to upgrade and you uninstall this tool, you can always export the settings to another ini file and keep it safe. So if something goes wrong, you can always revert it back using the ini file. So this is one important piece of information. Moving to startup. All right, this is nothing much. So you want to keep it auto start with Windows on. Whenever system comes up, Syncovery is also by default up unless you manually want to start it. So here is about logs, how you want to maintain the logs, that is about it, and where you want to create the logs. So by default it is creating over here. If you want to change it and make it some network path or some other folder, you can make that change. Also, how many log files you want to retain, these things you can do from here. Now, something very important. This notify tab is for allowing Syncovery to send out emails to your support team as per the settings you define over here. So for manually started task, if you want to send email, you check it. Like this, you can configure the email settings as per your business needs. So for example, every time my Syncovery profile fails, I want to receive an email update, and I also want to get the log file so that from email itself I can read it and see what is going wrong, right? Also, I want a daily summary at, let's say, 10 o'clock in the morning, so that I will see in last 24 hours how my Syncovery profiles were behaving, how many files got transferred, were there any failures and all that. If you want to receive email in beautiful looking HTML format, you want to keep this option checked, and then here in email settings you can specify your SMTP configuration. So what is your SMTP server, port, or if you want to use Gmail or Office, you can configure them here. So if you want to use your local SMTP, you can make use of that. Or if you want to use Gmail, Office, etc., you can very well select them as well and define your SMTP configuration, which Syncovery will use and send email. And here you want to define the list of recipients, and once all of the settings are done, you can send a test email also for your testing purposes. Let me cancel this. In this event log, we can define what different events we want to get logged. So if something goes wrong, you can directly go to event viewer and monitor your Syncovery events, right? And lastly, in this performance tab, you can specify how many CPUs you are allowing for Syncovery to use, what is the thread priority, and all these settings. Alright, during the installation of Syncovery, we discussed that Syncovery tool creates a Windows service that takes care of its scheduling and all that. We have never seen that service yet. This is the time to take a look at that. So go to the Windows services and type Syncovery, and here we can see these three services are created by Syncovery, and this Syncovery guardian is the protector of this particular service. So if this goes down, then Syncovery guardian's responsibility is to bring it up. So if you run into any issue where your service is down and because of that some backup did not get triggered, this is the place where you can come and troubleshoot.
All right. You now have the blueprint for a professional automated synchronization engine. But remember, the mark of a great architect isn't the complexity of the tool, it is the absolute reliability of the system. Infrastructure is a team sport, and I want to see you how you are applying this. Drop a comment below and let me know which cloud provider you are bridging into your data fabric, whether you are on Azure, AWS, or cloud hybrid stack. If this masterclass helped you level up your architecture today, subscribe and join the fold. Alright, that's it for now. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next deep dive. Stay resilient. Thank you.